Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome to this very special video, the announcement of Planet Zoo 2, or one of many announcements of Planet Zoo. I'm assuming there's going to be lots of people doing a video right now. Your subscriptions are probably blew up if you're already a fan of Planet Zoo or Planet Coaster, because I'm sure we'll all be showing this off now. Very excited to share this one with you. Again, as always, thank you so much to the team at Frontier Developments for letting me take a look at this early to get this ready for you. Wow, this looks awesome. As you'll know, if you're a fan of the channel, we were in Planet Zoo quite a lot back in the day. Obviously, Planet Coaster as well, Planet Coaster 2. Currently covering Paralives, but any game like this that just allows me to be creative and create awesome spaces, I'm all for it. And my goodness, do some of these spaces look amazing here. You're watching this, you're seeing fish, you're seeing aquariums, you're seeing birds, you're seeing aviaries, and you're seeing some really quite awesome looking refreshes of mammals and reptiles that we got from the first game, and these beautiful vistas. This is incredible. We're going to break down this the video here. We're going to go through it scene by scene and see what we can see. I'm sure there are going to be people who know much more about zoos than me who are going to be doing a much better job of this, so this is going to be a quick sort of overview. And there'll be people like go and check out Leaf and Ivan and all those awesome folks. So first of all, then, we're seeing a very large open vista. The foliage is stunning. It looks like it's massively improved, and it does look like we have this beautiful lighting engine that's coming from Planet Coaster 2 as well. The most up-to-date version of Cobra, I think. It's like an in-house engine that they use for these games, and you can clearly see that all of that sort of stuff is coming across into the Zoo series, and even maybe looks better than Planet Coaster 2, to be honest with you. That beautiful lighting engine. The water as well, that we'll look at in a second, looks incredible. You're seeing all this beautiful foliage. It's a bit of a sort of Indonesian kind of vibe to the theming here. It's very exciting. And then we see our first animal, a very, very beautiful Sumatran tiger, and a family of them, including some cubs. You can see that the fur here is a huge improvement on the first game. You see all the light catching gear, the sort of various different lengths throughout. The animations look incredible. And again, just as those shadows sit on the tiger there, it's beautiful. We'll have a look at some comparisons between the animals from the first game and the second game in a moment, but for now, we'll move forward. Guests look like they've had a little bit of an improvement from Planet Zoo. They seem to be using Planet Coaster 2 is on the same sort of version of guests now. I will say that as the fidelity of the scenery and the foliage and the animals continues to increase and get better and better, more and more the guests are starting to look out of place, and I do think at some point we're going to have to start seeing a bit of an update on the style of them, not necessarily just the fact that they're a little crisper. Those sort of beady eyes, I know that they're just sort of wandering around and you're not normally this zoomed in, and the focus here should be on the animals, much like the focus is on the rides and the scenery in Planet Coaster, but it is getting to the point, I will be honest, where the guests are starting to look a little out of place. But then we see this beautiful vista of an aquarium, an incredible sunfish there, and loads of shoals of fish, or schools of fish. I'm not quite sure what the difference is. I think school is just one type of fish and shoal is lots of different fish or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but look at that. You have this beautiful, I want to say ocular occlusion. I think that's a thing. I don't know. The water just looks amazing. In a moment, we'll see a close-up view of a gorgeous turtle from inside the water, and again you just sort of see these beautiful sun rays coming through, glistening onto his back or her back. I can't tell from here, I'm afraid. And beautiful corals behind as well. One thing I will point out here is that we're seeing sort of almost like centerpiece animals, I suppose. The turtle there, the sunfish there, but then all of the other fish, they're in a sort of big group of sort of 20, 30, 40, even more. I'd be very surprised if each of those is individually sort of managed. I can't imagine you can click in there and select, Tetra number 6 or what have you. So I imagine what they're doing there is they're working as a shoal, and you sort of place them in and they swim around together. I think that's actually a very elegant solution. I know in the first game when they spoke about not wanting to do butterflies or things like that but they're very small because they want to have each animal actually sort of work as a single animal. But I don't think that's feasible for something like this. I think that this is a good way of doing it, having them act and work as a larger group. I think that's great. Next up then, we can see a built-out cliff face. The cliffs here look fantastic. The stone looks amazing. All the foliage looks amazing. At the back there is I want to say something. It's African dogs or hyenas or something like that. And then also an elephant. Looks like they're sharing the habitat together. And again, we see some of that scenery. It does have a very Indonesian vibe with all of the bamboo and twine. No, there's a better shot of that now. You can see the African elephant and some kind of horned ungulate. I don't know these things very well. Wildebeest or something. Maybe not wildebeest. I don't know. One of those things. Go watch Leaf if you want to know what every animal is. Although of note, in the background of this one, then you can see the first shot of a few shots where we see like netting, which is, I assume, how we're going to enclose the birds of the game. But maybe you'll be able to use that netting for some of the other climbing animals as well, who really get around. Here we see a fantastic look at a chimp doing some awesome climbing. We get a brief glimpse of a crocodile, I'm going to say, not an alligator. I think if you can see upper and lower teeth, it's a crocodile. You can really see here the fidelity of the animals has improved. The scales on this are just stunning. Yeah, there's a better look at that net then, and it seems to be a sort of walk-through exhibit. You can actually go in. The guests will be able to walk through there and walk around the animals. In the next shot, we see the toucans hopping along with people around them. That's really exciting. And then we see them take flight. Just the amount of fidelity on these animals is incredible. The detail on the beak there, and each individual feather animated. And look at the texture on the log that it sat on. Like, we're so zoomed in here. Like, you're not going to play this game this zoomed in. You're coming in just to look at them, and they know that. And they really, really sort of zoomed in to show you. It's beautiful. Here we can see a shot of some of them flying around. Yeah, we just see that net above there. Really awesome. The path seems very open here. I'm sure we get the pathing system from Planet Coaster 2, which is much more free and easy to use than Planet Zoo. Gorgeous secretary bird is looking beautiful. Again, look at the feathers. There's so much fidelity here. It's kind of blowing me away. I'm a little worried. This is the first time, because I mostly play Sims and Tycoons and stuff that doesn't really test my computer that much. This is the first time in a long time where I've worried that my computer might not be up to playing this at full specs, because my god, the amount of detail going on here is insane. We see a fantastic bit of interaction with the guest and the secretary bird here, both sort of mimicking each other. I suppose the guest is mimicking the bird. And you'll see on the staff member here, he's holding an iPad. That to me looks like a tree kangaroo, which I know has been a sort of real highly requested animal from the community, so I'm pretty sure that's a little Easter egg there just for you folks who've been waiting for that one. And then the trailer finishes off with these last two shots, one of the secretary birds in flight and another one of a menagerie of sort of savannah animals or Serengeti animals. The couple of things I want to point out here: this doesn't look like a zoo to me. This looks like the wild. So I wonder if we're going to get the option to build a safari, what's the word, like a wildlife reserve. And also, again, I know I keep saying it, look at the water here and look at the foliage here. Just stunning. Like, I'm just so impressed at how much they pushed forward this engine. To the lighting and the water, it's just gorgeous. And there you go, 13th of October is when we'll be getting the game. That lines up with most of Frontier's releases. They usually release towards the start of that last quarter of the year, and it says you can pre-order it. If you do, there are some bonuses. So if you pre-order it, you're going to get a tiger photo wall, so kids can stick their heads through and have their photograph taken. You get a shop, the Toucan Eat shop, and you get 3 animal donation bins. Those are fantastic. I'm really, really into those. The donation bins in the first game are fine, but they kind of look a little bit samey, and you've always got to try and do something to make them look a bit more interesting. Those ones look much more like what you would actually see in a zoo. I think they're fantastic. And then, as well as the base game, they're going to be a deluxe edition, which includes 6 exclusive animals to that. There's the golden eagle, golden lion tamarin, very cute, an axolotl, which I imagine is going to be an exhibit animal. I can't imagine that axolotl being in that huge water with the sunfish and all that. Hammerhead shark, he probably will be in a much larger space. The blue and gold fusilier and the long fin batfish, and some signs as well, which is cool. All right, so a few things I want to talk about. First of all, very excited, can't wait. really looking forward to it. Really enjoyed my time in the first game. Did get a little bit burnt out, is necessarily the right word, but I felt like I saw all I wanted to see from the game a little earlier than I did with the Planet Coaster series. I just think that's mostly because I just enjoy theme parks more than I do zoos, although I am a big fan of visiting zoos in real life. I do think that the addition of aquariums and aviaries are going to extend the life cycle of this game a lot more for me personally, because both of those are things I'm a little bit more interested in than just sort of seeing mammals and reptiles potter about. And for the most part, I am like 100% on board with this. The only slight concern I have at the moment is one that I very often have with Frontier, and that's just that everything is kind of huge. And I just think that's part of their design style at this point. The zoo we're seeing here, as beautifully laid out as it is, it's sprawling, there's huge paths up cliff sides. This aquarium that we're looking at here, with the little girl standing in front of, it's open at the top there, and this would be one of the world's largest aquariums if this existed in real life, and that's fine to build and fun to build, but I very often try and lean towards realism. Implied realism is what I always call it in these games, because I don't necessarily know how aquariums work, but I try and make them at least look like they're realistic. So I'm going to be interested to know whether or not this all works and looks great and plays well at a more realistic scale. So that's going to be the first thing I try and do, is just squeeze everything down and actually put these fish in tanks of like sort of 500 gallons as opposed to the 200,000 gallons that we're looking at here. And the same goes for aviaries as well. I hope we can build smaller spaces for single birds like you would find in most zoos. Right, last thing I wanted to show you then is a couple of comparisons from the original Planet Zoo to the new one, just so you can see just how much that sort of lighting engine and fur shaders really have come along. Can't wait to see the animals in action. Obviously, as soon as we see more, we will share it with you, so please keep it here, and if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe. Right now, very much focused on Paralives and Planet Coaster 2, but very much looking forward to getting back to some animal shenanigans later in the year. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Until the next one, be good.